Welcome back to the Triple SC, everybody. Gronk,
Christopher?
hope everybody's doing well, and welcome back. Today we are going to spend a little time touching base on some of the Marvel movies. Talked about how I wanted to get the kids into that because we started doing a movie night.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, it would go a lot better than it has because you know baseball games and everything are kind of throwing a curve into the current plans. So until ball season's over, we have postponed movie night. But in the meantime, I have some questions about as far as there's a lot of movies that follow the cinematic universe, correct?
Yep. There are a lot of movies that are in the cinematic universe, and then there are a lot of ones and twos and three Bs that aren't connected, but they're still Marvel movies because they are about Marvel characters.
Right.
But before before the MCU properly got started back in 2008 with Iron Man, we had, I don't know, I'd have to sit there and count them out on my fingers to get an actual number in front of my face. But before Iron Man got started, we had an entire X-Men franchise.
Right.
We had an entire Blade franchise.
Uh, have they revived Blade yet?
Uh, Kind of, sort of. Blade was actually in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. Who did Channing Tatum play? Is that Blade?
He played Gambit.
Gambit.
Wesley Snipes played Blade.
I was gonna say I thought Wesley Snipes. He played Blade. There hasn't been a movie yet other than that one, correct?
There has not, and that's actually one of the struggle bus points in the MCU is they have not been able to get Blade off the ground.
Yeah.
Because if the director isn't leaving because like for whatever reason, and I guess it's because he only wants to put out clean, polished product, Kevin Feige just will not approve a script unless it is pristine,
Right.
like solid gold, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So five
Crossing all the
stars.
T's, dotting all the I's.
Yep, you got to
You
cross
didn't
the
miss
I's and
nothing.
dot the T's. I said what I said,
You heard it here first, folks.
and so he just will not approve a script. So the director ends up leaving because it's taken too long to get the project
Yeah.
going.
Too many other things starting to go on for them.
Yeah, and it's taking too long to get the movie made. And I'm wondering if Marshall Ali, because he's the one that they cast for the role, I'm wondering how long he's going to hang on before he's like, I'm not even under contract with you guys anymore, and I never got one movie made.
Right. What was he a part of?
Well, he
Yeah,
yeah,
he did that.
he did that.
Wild.
I
What a
bet you
he.
didn't know.
What a hero.
He cameos off screen as Blade at the end of Eternals because there's a scene where Kit Harington's character, who would become the Black Knight, is basically like trying to figure out what to do to get his girlfriend back because she's one of the Eternals, and he has this family sword and he's about to open it up, and it's like when everybody realizes who his character actually is, and he's like, oh, he's gonna be the Black Knight, and you hear a voice off screen basically say, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or something, something like
Something
that.
along those
And
lines.
that voice is Marsala Ali, and the implication is that he is Blade
Okay.
appearing to that guy and being like, don't mess with things you don't have any idea about.
Right.
And other than that, I think he was Blade in the what it and what it was either What If or Marvel Zombies, the animated Disney Plus shows.
Okay.
So he was supposed to make a much larger contribution than what he has, but Blade is somehow the impossible.
There is a one movie, isn't there, or two?
There's three
Okay,
Blade movies.
okay,
And there was a Blade TV show, which this is kind of I wonder what joke they are making because there was a short-lived Blade TV show, and it had I think his name's, I don't know what the actor's name is. At the very least, his public persona name was like Treach or something like that, and he was in a movie called Love and a Bullet,
okay.
where he plays some gangster whose girlfriend gets kidnapped, so he has to like cut a swath of blood through his competition to get her back.
Attaboy.
And anyway, there was a Blade TV show. It's very short lived. He was in it, and anyway, in Deadpool and Wolverine, when Wesley Snipes reappears as Blade after 20 years, he makes he they're making jokes about how there have been 7 or 8 different versions of multiple characters,
Yeah,
or at least the Punisher, because he pulls out a rocket launcher, Blade does, and Deadpool's like, "Where'd you get the AT-4?" And I think either Elektra or Gambit is like it was the Punishers, and Deadpool is like which one? There's been 5 of them, and technically speaking, that's not accurate.
all right.
But so I'm wondering who the 5th one is they're counting. But anyway, Blade says, "Yeah, well, there's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade." So either the writers' room forgot about that TV show, or it is so far beneath their contempt they don't even recognize it as being a thing.
Right.
I'm wondering which way they're.
Yeah, you have to wonder which way that goes.
I'm wondering which way the joke leans.
Yeah, that's
I'm
interesting.
having wild deja vu right now.
Are you?
I am. I really am. I feel like we have sat, and I mean, we have sat here
I was gonna
and
say,
we have had conversations like this before, but I feel like we have had this exact same conversation before. I am like the deja vu is wild at the moment, and I realize I just broke everything we were doing, but I had to I
you need a
had to
moment to
address
process that.
I
Process that.
I had to process that for a second.
That's funny.
So I wonder which way it is that they're leaning with
Right,
that joke. Huh.
right.
But there was a Hulk movie before there was the Incredible Hulk. There was a scrapped Fantastic Four movie that came out that would have come out in the 1990s. They made it. They just never released it.
Really.
Yeah. And that kind of thing happens a lot where like they'll make a movie and then for whatever reason they'll just throw it in a vault somewhere and
Hmm.
forget all about it. Batgirl.
Yeah.
And now that social media presence is such a a powerhouse in getting information out there, that I mean that even the world's greatest secret isn't capable of being
Kept.
kept
Yeah.
or buried for long before it's like, hey, some shutterbug on the set of whatever movie just took picture Andrew Garfield back in the Spider-Man costume, and now we just proved he's lying again about not being in any of these movies.
Right.
It's like, well, everybody has a smartphone, so
Right.
how can you possibly police this?
Yeah. It's impossible.
Yeah, and you can only say deep fake, AI, AI, AI so many times before it's like you've literally lied about this before.
Right. Well, and I mean, you can tell AI. We're getting to the point. It's distinctable,
Yeah.
at least to me.
It really is, and I forget who pointed this out to me, but it's like the way their hands look
Yeah.
is when you can start to tell that it's
The hands
AI.
are getting better.
Like
Or they traditionally are getting better at not putting the hands in the videos.
for whatever reason, AI has trouble like animating how hands work.
Well, apparently that's not just an AI thing, that's an artist thing. If you ask any artist, they'll tell you the hardest part of the body to draw is the hand, which I didn't know that, but yeah, interestingly enough, that's the most challenging part of a body to draw is a hand, so that's why AI struggles at understanding it.
Oddly, Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, seemed to struggle with feet. Like he could not draw feet.
Really?
Yeah. So
Dang.
and that ends up being a joke in multiple Deadpool movies.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's all Deadpool movies are is comedy, action comedy.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm here for it because it's good stuff.
And him
I've only
being
seen the last one.
and him the obnoxious personality that he is being bounced off whoever he's in the movie with.
Yeah, the poor soul he gets to duo up with.
And that, that's really the extended universe of X-Men films that are now being bled into the MCU because it had to happen eventually, and Disney spent money buying Fox just so they could make it happen.
Right.
But you had what was all right. Let's say that before the MCU took off in 2008, there were three X-Men films.
Okay.
After that, there was considerably more.
Right.
Then you had the sub franchise of Wolverine films, and then the sub franchise of Deadpool films, and then New Mutants, which I don't know that anybody actually even gives a rat's ass about. It's just like
Yeah.
a rogue movie they just threw on at the end there, and other
Hmm.
than the people that were actually involved in it, I don't know how many people actually really care about it because it was one of those projects that like they made an initial promotion for it and then like and it was set to be this like weird body horror entry into the franchise, like it was going to be an X-Men movie that was a horror movie and then it was an X-Men movie,
Right.
or at least that's the way it
Was described.
initially looked. And then the fan reaction was so strong, was so strong that the filmmakers were like, nope, we got to go back and reshoot basically this whole movie because I'm not trying to do this.
Right.
Like this isn't a trusted formula and it's probably going to fail. And then here's the ace kicker in the card hand here. It did
Right.
because it took forever to come out because they made reshoots. They basically left it sitting on a shelf for years and then they tried to release it at the height of COVID because like the Disney merger had gotten announced
Right.
and they were like, we got to get this, we got to get this off our books before this merger happened. For whatever reason, whatever the technicals are, Fox was like, we got to get this off our books before Disney gets here because we're not going to recoup this expense and we're not going to recoup this loss anyway, so we might as well just
Get it out.
get it out there because it's already a mess, and I'd just rather not have to contend with it anymore.
Yeah.
And he had two separate two separate Fast Fantastic Four franchises. The one with Jessica Alba and then one with Miles Teller in it.
Right.
And that was a nightmare project in and of itself. The one with Miles Teller in it, and the guy that made that movie actually came out the day before it hit theaters and posted all over Instagram about what a piece of shit it was and how he didn't stand by it at all. And the producers had taken editing control away from him
Wow.
and made a movie he didn't even like. He just shit all over it. And then Disney had to go back and do damage control and basically force him to delete the post off Instagram and not necessarily take his words back, but basically tell him to shut up until after the movie was out and everybody had forgot about it. But a tragedy, just an absolute dumpster fire. I don't know what the number was, but I don't remember hearing that it did very well.
Right. Interesting.
You had two Ghost Rider movies.
See, I've seen the Fantastic Four and I've seen the Ghost Rider movies. Both
Yeah.
of those.
You had Daredevil and Elektra.
Never seen those.
You had
Is this part of the MCU?
no, these are just
These are standalone
these are
movies.
just standalone Marvel projects that have come out before they started
Well,
the
didn't
MCU up with Iron Man.
yeah, but I mean, didn't Spider-Man come out before they decided to make it the MCU anyway?
Yeah, you had a Spider-Man trilogy too.
Right. The Tobey Maguire one, correct?
Yep.
So what all's in it before they decided to turn it into the MCU?
Well, that's all these films I'm talking. Like there wasn't an MCU, like there wasn't a cinematic universe. There were just salt.
Oh, these are all part of it prior to Iron Man.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they were just independent Marvel projects that were out there in the wind, like
Right.
ones and twos. There was
And
not just
then
this massive.
and then eventually they just in 2008 after Iron Man they started figuring out how to tie them all together one
Yep, and
fashion or another.
very slowly they started getting their own. All they started getting all their Marvel characters back.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're trying to do something here. We need that back.
Right.
Oh, well, you can't have it right now. We still have the license until next Thursday, whatever.
Right.
And that's why Netflix had their own TV universe of characters like Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, and then they did their own version of the Avengers with the Defenders, and like there was a cumulative TV show called Defenders, which had all those characters in it, and it ran for like 4 episodes or whatever.
Okay.
And now all those characters have basically migrated to Disney Plus. And Disney Plus has kind of
The rest of that story.
picked up the rest of that stuff, and they're like, all right, well, here's all your revivals because Daredevil's got his born again show, and the Punisher's got some movie that he TV special that Disney Plus is doing for him,
Right.
and he's going to be in the new Spider-Man.
Really.
Yeah, and they're saying that Daredevil is going to be in the new Spider-Man, and Charlie Cox is pulling a whole Andrew Garfield right now.
Who's playing Tom Holland's in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
He.
hearing about him getting uh, going to the hospital or something to get his foot checked out because he
I don't know what he did.
maybe it wasn't his foot, but I heard something.
I heard he got a concussion.
Oh, that might have been it.
Like he
Yeah.
did. I think he got it. I think he got his bell rung a
Yeah.
little bit and had to go get had not even just
He was
the
out of production for a little bit, wasn't
yeah. I think they shut down production for a couple of weeks. Like
he? Smacked.
he got smacked.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even where the set doctor could stitch him back up
Maintain
and
it.
maintain
Yeah.
him. Like he had to go to the hospital.
Right.
Like, no, you just need 3 or 4 stitches and a band-aid and a lollipop, you son of a gun, and that, you'd think that'd be it. I mean,
You think they would have found a way to stitch him up and then put it in the movie? Make it right after a fight scene.
I don't know. I can't trust anything I see. I can basically only because you never know when something's been altered by
Yeah.
AI just to,
Fabricate views and clicks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I very rarely trust any of the promotion, but if any of it's even half true, like it looks like a pretty sick brand new day for Spider-Man, no pun intended.
Yeah. That's the name of this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
nobody could sell it on no pun intended, but the subtitle is Brand New Day.
which ones are not part of the MCU? Everything other than the first three.
Uh, the bef before the MCU got started, you had the Tobey Maguire trilogy, and then because Sony had not licensed Spider-Man to the MCU yet. You had the Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield,
Okay.
but that for how why ever it worked out the way that it did, they were like, all right, we're going to share this license with you so that you can use Spider-Man in the franchise you're trying to make,
Right.
but we are going to get a cut of that.
There's a royalty fee.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is a massive licensing fee you're going to split with us.
And they're
Whatever.
going to pay a portion every time a sale happens.
Oh yeah, and there was talk that like after I want to say it was after Endgame or something like that. It was after like the biggest thing that Spider-Man had been in yet at the time. They were like, well, Sony's tired of sharing and Marvel's tired of the expense, so they're basically getting ready to write Spider-Man out of the cinematic universe somehow. And and I don't know how much stock I ever put in that. It's like because everything is because money,
Yeah.
and if you're gonna make flaming truckloads of Disney money, you're not gonna give up your golden calf.
Yeah.
And if you got, I mean, if you got to give a quarter to a guy just so you can get $1.50 out of it, you're gonna give a guy a quarter.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Marvel Disney decided to do was basically just give Sony whatever the hell they're asking for because having Spider-Man in the Marvel franchise
Is worth more than the
is
loss.
is worth more than the loss. Now Sony's basically ate that with all of their and the thing I think they did wrong was they kept trying to rebrand it
Yeah.
like because they made their own Marvel franchise of Spider-Man Rogues Gallery films like the Venom trilogy and Morbius and Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web, and they kept rebranding what they called it.
Yeah.
Like every year it'd be like, "Oh, well now it's the extended Sony Spider-Man Marvel franchise or something." And it's like you are really
You're reaching.
you're reaching so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm basically if I hear the word synergy one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. That because that's where this stuff comes from.
Right.
It comes from the marketing team. Is like if we brand this thing, we can sell it.
Hey.
Oh shit! Morbius just made $5 at the box office. Well,
Crazy.
we'll release it again in 6 months. Oh shit! It just made another $5 at the box office. We'll try it a third time. We might get lucky. It made $1.50. All right, screw it. Like it came out in theaters 3 or 4 different times, and it was like a social media joke that like they'd be like, hey, let's get them to release. Let's get them to release Morbius in theaters again, and nobody will go see it, and it'll make even less money or something, so, something like that.
Right.
And they it just
That's
kept
how it
making
worked
less and
out.
less money every time that it came out again.
That's wild.
And it was like a running joke. It's, hey, this is how bad it is. Let's get it to come back out in theaters just so we can sit. It's almost like a mystery science theater thing where
Right.
they wanted it to come back to theaters just so they could sit in the theater, watch it, and make fun of it the entire time.
Nobody was there to be entertained.
No. And I'm at a lot, it's like you make three Venom movies. One of them has Carnage in it. You don't even make it rated R. I mean, Carnage is a hurricane bloodbath.
Right.
I mean, that dude is nothing but ripping people's heads off and just leaving an absolute waterfall of blood in his wake. And I mean, he's a serious. You guys nerfed it like crazy and made it PG-13
Right.
just to get more people to go. And that tells me you're a sellout.
That's what it's all about, though.
Well, that's why nobody's here for it because you don't care about the project. You just want to make a paycheck. That's
Yeah. And
that's what you're
that's the
telling
downfall
people.
for sure. Yeah. 100%. You gotta love the project
It's
because
not
everybody else is gonna love it with you.
that is why Deadpool, first Deadpool at least, and not even just first Deadpool, but that's why when Deadpool came out, it did so well. Is because you watch that movie and you can tell it is such a passion project for everybody that was there.
Yeah,
Like Ryan Reynolds has been chomping at the bit forever to get a Deadpool movie made. Like it is his life's dream
yeah,
to get a Deadpool movie made. And he spent money making uh like a oh, I don't know, a fan made like concept material put together for it
yeah.
because he cared so much. Like it was such a passion project for him.
Right,
And you see that in every frame of that movie. It is so good.
right,
And he cares. And he has said before, he's like said in an interview before, he's like, I challenge anybody. I defy anyone out there to say they know more about Deadpool than I do. I mean, short of Rob Liefeld, I don't know how true that might be. I mean, that's a lot of years and a lot of comic books and six one half dozen or the other things that are out there to ingest to say that you are the person who knows the most about Deadpool in the world.
right.
And I mean, he delivered Deadpool with such passion. I kind of want to believe that.
Yeah, how do you not?
I'm here I'm here to say I'd like to watch that.
Or any of those part that's not part of the MCU.
Well, it is now,
It is.
and it is now because Marvel bought Fox,
Right,
and they got all their Fox characters back, all the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, basically any character that Fox had, they now have back.
right.
And what they did is since let's call it that soft tease in Far From Home where Mysterio is like I'm from another universe and he's basically lying to Spider-Man and telling him this idea I'm from a parallel world and I'm a hero there.
Yeah,
Well, you find out at the end of the movie that it's all bullshit.
yeah,
Only by the time you get to No Way Home, it's not actually bullshit. Like the multiverse is a thing, and there are incursions from other characters into the cinematic universe.
right.
Well, now the thing that they're doing is that not only is it all these characters from other franchises, it's also the Marvel X-Men characters. And they're like, oh, hey, like at the end, they're spoilers. Spoilers. We probably should have said it at the beginning of the video.
B.
You got to play a part in this channel too. It can't be all
Well,
my
I'm the one that had
responsibility.
questions, and then you just dumping the whole storyline of the cinematic universe on my lap. I don't even need to watch the movies now.
Well, I've saved you some time. You have more time for those baseball games.
Not wrong.
Tell Carson he's good to go for a whole other 2 seasons. But anyway, so like, and they started to have heavy hand in it because in Doctor Strange too. I mean, the Mr. Fantastic is in there. Charles Xavier is in there. They start kind of slow rolling all these characters in, and it's like, okay, well, they're from a parallel universe.
Okay.
And then by the time you get to Deadpool and Wolverine, which is basically a love letter to Marvel's time at Fox,
Right. Yeah, there's a couple little cameos I noticed in
yeah,
there. Wasn't
Deadpool,
the 20th Century Fox thing? He's like at a gravesite or something.
yeah. But so because Deadpool is meta aware,
Right.
somehow he's aware of the parallel universes that are out there. He uses Cable's watch that he got in Deadpool 2 to travel around to them.
That's at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes to the cinematic universe and meets Happy Hogan and he's like, I want to be an Avenger. And Happy Hogan's like, no. you do some other stuff first, and then we'll talk about finding somewhere to put you. But no, I'm not even. I am the man you need to be talking to in this situation, and and it's so meta as fuck.
Yeah,
But it's just it's funny. But like he somehow Deadpool knows, and he's like, I want to be an Avenger. Cap, why is Thor crying? And all these references to the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters because he understands his meta reality.
right.
And and here we come. We're getting to Avengers Doomsday in December this
Right.
year, and the
Oh, that's
Avenger,
this year?
yeah, the Avengers characters, the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters are going to meet all these other characters,
Okay.
and they're going to put a movie together around the Avengers and the X-Men
So,
fighting each other and then teaming up to fight a common enemy.
so there's gonna be like 40 main
Oh
characters.
yeah. There was like that was the initial trailer for the film was like a camera passing all these cast chairs with the actors' names on the back of them, and there's like 40 of them, and then finally you get to Robert Downey Jr., who's just like, shh,
But obviously, these are all the same and familiar names that have been
yeah,
playing the roles at least for some time now, if not
yeah,
a couple times before.
and God knows what surprises they're
Put
holding
into the
on
mix,
to.
yeah. Since they dropped Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom or whatever, I mean, who knows what else there is in store?
Well, it's like
You could be seeing names and thinking that's gonna be somebody, and it's completely different.
Kevin Feige just dropped an interview where he's like, thanks to the multiverse, we can pretty much do whatever the hell we want.
That's cool.
And that makes me wonder what they've got in their back pocket that they're not telling people about. If this is all the frontline stuff they're willing to say they're doing,
Yeah,
I wonder what they got hidden in their back pocket that you're not even going to have any idea about
yeah,
until you're at the theater.
right.
And then, I mean, the way they did that going from Infinity War to Doomsday has got me very excited for what they're going to do from not from Infinity War to Doomsday, from Infinity War to Endgame. That's got me very excited for what they're going to do from Doomsday to Secret Wars.
Right.
Of course, now what they're saying is that they're going to release Avengers Endgame right before Doomsday comes out because it's been like re-edited with footage that like you have to see in order to understand what's going on in Avengers Doomsday. So I'm wondering if the movie's going to be like 4 hours long now instead of being 3 hours.
Jesus.
But people go see it. Like people will get ready for Avengers Doomsday by like just absolutely binging the entire MCU up to that point.
Right. And we're talking like 40 to 50 movies too. We're not even talking about just like the main storyline movies, like
Yeah,
other tangible
they're
stories.
gonna it's gonna be sponge bath time. They're gonna be absorbing everything that's got Marvel's name on it.
Yeah, that's wild to think.
And that's not to mention Agents of Shield. That's not to mention um, all the Disney Plus shows.
So they're even incorporating what's going on in the shows.
Yeah, like you can't just watch the movies. Like especially since Endgame, you got to watch the Disney Plus shows too.
Right.
WandaVision, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Daredevil. There have been so many I lose track of what all is actually even out there.
Yeah.
Hawkeye, Loki.
Yeah, Loki. Seen Loki and WandaVision.
Like Loki's pretty vital to to the plot of Deadpool and Wolverine actually because the TVA is the organization, the Time Variance Authority is the organization that Loki basically encounters in Loki, and they are the organization in Deadpool and Wolverine that is basically running the show in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right. Interesting.
and it's like for real. It's a whole mythology, and it's a wonder Kevin Feige can keep it all straight.
Yeah, I'm saying.
And there's evidence that I mean he does his best, and he's probably done it better than a lot of other people that might have thought, hey, let's start a cinematic universe
Right.
because it's been tried and failed before.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean, they
Marvel's
want
not the first ones to hop
they're
on this type of thing.
they're not the first ones to try something like this. I just feel like they're the first ones to really pull it off.
Yeah.
And and God bless them, people have tried since Marvel has tried, and they've been like, "Hey, let's do this too." And they get a movie out, and it's like, no, because we see what you're doing.
Right.
You want to build a cinematic universe, and use the Marvel formula, but you don't have Kevin Feige standing with his hand on your shoulder, blessing the whole thing,
Yeah. Right.
or whoever their version of Kevin Feige is. But
Right.
I would be hard. I would be hard pressed to say that it could be pulled off elsewhere. And you saw it with Disney. You saw it with DC's first stab at it
Right.
because they got about 12 movies in, and they're like 5 movies in a row have been abysmal box office failures. Like they've barely made their budget back.
Right.
5 movies in a row. You guys can't agree on what kind of movies we're making. You can't agree on where we want to take this thing. We took Zack Snyder off this train so that it would get back on track, and now it's in worse shape than when he left.
Right. Here we are again. Yeah.
And no, there's too many cooks in this kitchen. We need to just burn the whole thing down. And
Call it what it is. Be done with it.
yeah.
Wash. Or the bill work.
Oh, Batman. So because he name dropped, I'm going to tell a story that's not
Oh, good
related to
Lord.
Marvel at all. It's not related to movies. It is
It's
only
about his favorite supervisor in the entire world that he has
oh
ever had at any company in his whole life.
my Joseph. All right. So I used to run the back door. I know you've heard this story.
That's what she said.
I used to run the back door, and that meant that I had to let in the vendors. I had to check in the mail, all that good stuff.
Right.
I had to sign everything, date everything, stamp everything, file everything,
Right.
check everything.
Is this after the close?
At,
What
at
are you talking about? Like at stores?
Meyer,
Oh, oh, okay.
when I was
When you
at
worked at Meyer.
when I
Okay.
was at Meyer,
Okay.
they
I'm with
started
you.
training me on how to run the back door.
I'm with you. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were talking Pepsi.
I probably should have said that, but I was trying to avoid name dropping just in case this comes up in court later.
It,
But I guess it's all relative now.
it can't. It's been too many years.
Yeah. So I was running the back door and I hadn't been doing it very long, and I basically had my first day of doing it by myself.
Right.
Okay. And and anyway, I'm standing there, I'm minding my own business. I'm not really paying attention. All of a sudden, Bill comes up to and I'd never even met the guy before. And he comes up to he comes up to my desk, and he slams an invoice down on my desk, and he's like, "I need you to fix this, buddy." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he tells me what's wrong with it, and I'm very confused, but I'm like, "All right, well, let me make some phone calls, and I'll see if we can get this straightened out." Well, I called the helpless desk, as we called it,
Yeah.
and the whole time I'm on the phone, and I am trying to figure this out for probably a half hour. The whole time he is standing there like this.
Yeah. Watching you like a hawk.
Oh yeah, he's not going to move from that desk until I've given him a satisfactory answer. And I don't even remember what the issue is, but for some reason I had screwed something up.
It's funny that you don't remember those things. We like to forget the mistakes, don't we?
The past is the past. I hate that. The past is the past, yes, but that does not mean you can't be accountable
Kuna Matata.
for it. You don't get to escape accountability just because the past is the past.
Why not?
That's not how life works.
That's not fair.
Who said life was fair?
Uh,
So at any rate, I did not get any answers off of the help desk. Like they
right,
couldn't resolve the issue,
right.
and I had been at it for probably a half hour or something like that, and he's just staring at me like a hawk the whole time. And then I got off the phone and I was like, I was not able to get any resolution for you from the help desk. Honestly, I don't know what to do about this. If it means that much to you, you should probably go talk to my store director. He can help you out a little bit better than I can.
Right,
Well, he walked away. And that interaction left such a bad taste in my mouth that after that, like I never wanted to see the guy again.
right.
And every time he came into the store, I would avoid him.
Yeah.
I would go out of my way to
Be stocking a shelf or something.
be out of his way.
Yeah,
And it was so bad that after I left I didn't even work there anymore. I would still go to the store and I would see him there
right.
and I would still avoid him. I'm still, nope, not that guy.
Hard pass. Yeah,
I don't even want to know him in my civilian life. Golly.
yeah.
And so I crashed my entire career with Nestle. And then I was over it. My brother-in-law was like, "Hey, Pepsi's hiring." Well, when I applied over there at the warehouse for Pepsi, I made the joke to my brother, and I was so that there's one guy, and I had to tell him who I was talking about, and he's like, "Oh, you're talking about Bill?" I was like, "Yeah, does Bill work for Pepsi still? Is he at that building?" And he's like, "Yeah, but he's on the office side of things."
Right. Which he
Well,
was.
for a minute, well, like 5 minutes after I got in the building, he took over as the warehouse manager,
Yeah,
and it's like, this guy that I hate, who I was quite literally afraid of, is now my boss.
yeah. And then you guys were best friends.
Oh my God. And we had, it was our union contract. Like we had a union contract that they could not punish punish us or give us
Or
any kind of
reward.
reprimand over cases per hour. Like cases per hour was not part of the union contract.
Right,
They couldn't talk about it.
right.
But he was always punishing me because I was slower than everybody else.
Yeah,
He was always trying to.
yeah.
And he kept trying to, well, we have you have got to get faster. You've got to, we can't I can't have I can't have you doing such when everybody else is doing such and such.
Right.
And one day he dragged me into the office and he's like, he literally said, I can't talk about cases per hour because of the union contract, but we're going to talk about cases per hour. And he was determined to nail me however he had to do it.
He was going to talk about cases per
He
hour.
was he was going to write it however he had to and use whatever words he could
Needed
get
to.
away with
Yeah,
just to make it not about cases per hour on paper, but it was going to be about cases per hour. And I think that he said he was basically going to write it as like failure to comply with. There was some way that like if you were basically provably defying the orders given to you by your boss,
yeah,
something like that,
yeah.
that they could get you there.
Right,
Failure to meet expectations, I think, is what they called it.
right,
And he was gonna throw me there because and it's like they could just make up whatever imaginary expectations in their head and then say you didn't fit them.
right,
But he couldn't say cases per hour on paper.
right.
He was sure
There's,
saying it out. He was sure saying it physically, his words out loud out of his big fat dumb redhead mouth. He was a prick, and he's the reason I don't work for Pepsi anymore. quite honestly.
You don't work for Pepsi because it was too far of a drive.
Well, he was the reason I stopped working in the warehouse.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way. He might not have been why I left the company, but he is why I left the warehouse. Because that dude was determined to get me out of there. The audacity of that man. I moved to first shift, and he throws me off first shift just because they didn't want to get rid of Steve Strong.
right.
And it's like, well, I talked to the union rep, and I was like, what do I do? And the union rep, nothing you can do.
Yeah,
You're screwed. They went against what I told them not to post that job until they were sure he was going to leave. They went behind my back and did it anyway.
right.
So they, Pepsi and the union both shot me in the nuts. And it's like, all right, well, I'm done with all of you.
Yeah,
I'm out of this warehouse. But you managed to get a I don't know, to me it's terrifying, mildly interesting, and I don't know, anecdotal time at Meyer and Pepsi. So you managed to get an extra story out of me, but we were running about 40 seconds long.
that's all right.
Do you feel like I answered any of your questions or pointed you in a good direction?
I mean, I don't have to watch the movies anymore. I think I've about got the universe down now, so we're good. Appreciate it.
Marvel expert in training.
But thanks for the talk.
I
Thanks
always
for hanging out with us, everybody.
catch you down the road.
Till next time.